Joan Luise Hill is the co-author of this book, her second book, on the topic of miracles, and this title is called The Miracle Collectors. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, Bonnie, and thank you to Catholic TV for having me here.
It's our pleasure, and quite frankly, after all this time of pandemic and chaos, it seems like we could all use a good miracle. What's it been like to kind of write on this topic during these times?
Well, it has been amazing, truly. Writing, talking, exploring about miracles is sort of the perfect antidote to the global health crisis, the political polarization, the financial, concerns, and just things that have been going on in the world. We've all faced so much over the past several months. But The Miracle Collectors is really this wonderful book of possibilities. It's about hope. It's about inspiration, just like miracles are. It invites readers to look at their lives with a new lens and, a new perspective in the company of these extraordinary stories from, ordinary people like you and I.
Yeah, that's great. And, it is true, like ordinary people, for us to have a different outlook. But in these days of investigatory resources, DNA analysis, everybody's always looking for the reason. And you yourself worked in the healthcare industry, so you're always looking for, that scientific method. What's kind of been like for people to struggle to believe in miracles instead of that hardcore evidence?
Well, I think that miracles are certainly in the eye of the beholder. You can't force someone to believe in a miracle. And sometimes people think that that science and faith are mutually exclusive, but they are not. Right. Some of the world's most impressive scientists have been men and women of faith. And I think that, over the years, they have researched miracles. They have discovered information about miracles. I mean, Blaise Pascal has a famous wager about belief in God in general. And, at the end of the day, a wonderful wager, because if you win everything. But I think that, it's interesting. Last month, I was fortunate enough to be asked to give the commencement address at St. Mary's High School in Lynn, and my alma mater. Yeah. And I asked the people in the audience to raise their hand if they had ever experienced a miracle. And I told them that everyone's hand should be up, because the last epidemic we had in the United States was polio in the mid-20th century. It took over 60 years to come up with a cure for polio. And we came up with a vaccine for the coronavirus in under a year. That's a miracle. Yeah,
that's a great attitude to have. And of course, St. Mary's is a beautiful school. I had the pleasure of being associated with the school when I worked at Sacred Heart Parish in West Lynn. And what a great response you had from the audience, and what a beautiful perspective on this time of pandemic. Let's go back to the first book, The Miracle Chasers, that you wrote also with Katie. That was really well received. What's the response been to this second book, and particularly where it came out in early March?
Well, I think that the second book, The Miracle Collectors, really came out as a result of the first book. It was a very organic process. We thought we did our book about our three miracles, and we thought that, one and done. And what happened was we had this, as we told our stories, it was almost like we gave people permission to tell their stories. So we had this amazing outpouring of stories of courage, of faith, of love, of forgiveness, of gratitude. And we became these story keepers, and we knew we had to do something with them. So that's sort of how The Miracle Collectors came about. But then what happened was so many people asked us, how do we begin this spiritual journey? What's that like? How do you start? We think that's a wonderful thing that we should do. And so at the end of each chapter, we actually have something called Take a Miracle Moment Challenge that directs people to kind of, in ways, we talk about becoming more aware of the miracles in your life or where they might be, but how do you do that? We actually have some exercises that will help you become more aware of the places, the people, the things around you. And it's kind of like the Jesuit finding God in all things, if you will. Yes. And we sort of do find miracles from a sunset or a sunrise to the kindness of strangers in so many ways.
That's
so I
beautiful.
think the response has been the response has been very positive, and people have told us that after they complete these miracle moment challenges, they really have much better insight into themselves. We've had couples do it together who have said, wow, we've been married for 30 years, and isn't this amazing? So it's been terrific.
That's great. I love that Miracle Moment Challenge. I think I might even like that better than what really attracted me was the subtitle of the book here, Uncovering Stories of Wonder, Joy, and Mystery, just those everyday miracle moments of beauty every day. So we're just about out of time. Tell us where people can follow all your work, get a copy of the book, and just go on this great journey of discovering miracles.
Sure. We have a website, themiraclecollectors.com. We publish a monthly blog. There's also information on the website about other talks that we have done and podcasts. The book can be purchased through any online seller, whether it's Amazon or Barnes & Noble or any of the Books A Million. Independent bookstores have the book. Every bookstore can get it. Every library can get it. It was published by Hachette Worthy imprint. And Katie and I are really available and willing to talk to book clubs, to church groups, to anyone who wants to have a miracle discussion, because truly our goal is to empower others to recognize the miracles in their lives, because I believe we all have them.
I think you're absolutely right. Thank you so much, Joan, for taking the time to be with us. We really appreciate it. The Miracle Collectors, you definitely want to check it out.